Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joey Dean, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. So the last time we played this, I went against everything the narrator said. This is still the same session, as you can see. I'm wearing the same shirt. Uh, I'm recording another one because why not? I do that because I summon it. So so this time I'll actually
This
go
is the
through
story of a man named Stanley.
everything that the narrator says. I will follow him precisely because last time we were screwing around, just like ignoring all his directives, and we got crushed. So this time, I will listen to what he says
All of
and
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
try and
Stanley
see
decided
what
to go to the
happens.
meeting room.
Also, I restarted the game because last time
When
it was
Stanley
really
came to a set
buggy
of two open doors, he
and
entered the
laggy
door on
at
his
times.
left.
I don't know why it did that. So far, it's fine. To the
hoping
boss's
he might find an answer
office.
there.
Yes.
Coming to a staircase,
it's
Stanley
done the laggy
walked
thing again.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, you know what? I just said we were going to listen to what the narrator was saying, and then I got to this point. I forgot that we immediately went up and followed his orders. I want to go see what's downstairs. I am changing course right now. I'm changing course on what I'm going to do. Because why not? There's nothing there. Here's a car.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Because we're in a game.
For that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Oh, we're going in circles now.
What a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Are you enjoying this, though?
He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield.
Oh,
and
goodness.
It too appeared.
Oh,
It
goodness.
was so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
If you're awake, then this is...
speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
This is scary.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He
Okay.
felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Do you
My
though?
life is normal.
Do
I
you
am
though?
normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
And then it wasn't that way.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay. And
This
then
is the story of a woman named Mariella.
who?
Mariella woke
Who's
up on a day
Mariella?
like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
Who's
He was
Stanley?
obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Sure.
I know what is real and what isn't.
Are you though?
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Cool. You know what? This time we'll listen to what he says. We'll go everywhere he says we have to go, and we'll do what must be done. Okay?
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Can't go in those doors. Cool.
Stepping
Oh,
into
it
his
was the
manager's
fireplace
office,
that was
Stanley
here
was once again
previously.
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
What was the code?
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
No!
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music. Tick, tick.
The weird audio like thing where
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
yeah, okay. It sounded like he called me a dick is what I wanted to say but I know he didn't. It's just the audio that is like for some reason my game isn't running as smoothly as it should. If anyone knows why like that as well, if anyone can tell me why that is, that would be great.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
It's because you're being mind controlled, that's
Stanley
why.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah. It's really dark and I'm pretty sure that's really high. I'm scared of falling over. What is this?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Huh?
Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh, goodness me. Okay. This is an interesting little area. Is that a security camera? Oh, goodness.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their
Mother
true
of
nature
pearl.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
That
And
is-
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That is creepy. And I'm pretty sure that is against a lot of labor laws. Whose thingy is broken? What would we 427? Right? Is it gonna change back to it? Yes. Yes, there we are. That's our little office. Jeez. Someone's playing God. As a child, this is what I imagined God did every day. He sat in front of he sat in an area with just a whole bunch of TVs, and on each TV was each person that's on Earth. And from there, he was watching what we were doing. That's in my mind what God does.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Probably.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it.
Oh.
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
I mean,
Was it even possible?
Stanley's
Had
life.
he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Stanley's life is currently in my control. So is that?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Yeah.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Now, how is it gonna do that? If all he's ever all he's ever done was push buttons. How? Oh, he's probably just gonna switch the power off. System power. I'm gonna switch it off, right?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I mean, probably not.
Yes.
Oh,
He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Did he now?
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on
Why
how
is there
many
fire?
puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
uh-huh.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed
What
to
a
know.
strange
It
area.
was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
He's in the middle of
Stanley
nowhere.
stepped through the open door.
Yeah. But I feel like this is some form of trickery.
Stanley felt
Oh,
the
no,
cool
it's not.
breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. and Stanley was happy.
Was he though? I beat the game apparently. Well, we're back at the beginning. Yeah. So I assume that that is the main ending, but I take it there's a whole lot more other endings available. So if you guys want me to go on with this and discover more secrets and whatever, then let me know and we'll go find some more. We'll do more of this. It's interesting. The narrator is definitely very annoying. I'm a little annoyed at that little lag it has every now and again. I don't know why it does that. I can't figure it out. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, let me know. Leave a like down below, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful little things. And if you want to see more of the Stanley Parable, let me know, and I will play some more. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day further. Go hug someone, go tell someone that you love them, and until the next video, take care.